Your heart is where your power is.
Oh, man, yeah.
Empathy and understanding is your power. That's your superpower. Here we are in your neighborhood, Carson, California.
Yeah.
Take me back to 12-year-old Samara. Describe to me what life was like through her lens.
Well, for starters, I'd say it's very basketball oriented.
What was important to you?
I'd say fitting in, for sure.
Okay. Fitting in was important.
Right.
Where do you feel like that need or desire to fit in stemmed from?
I felt like in elementary school, you know, there was always somebody ahead of me, and I felt like I was always a little bit behind. Maybe in the athletic way, maybe in the social way, but I always felt like I was lacking one thing.
Do you feel like you were confident at that age?
Not necessarily, no.
No?
I don't think so, no. I don't know, I felt like that was the one thing that I was lacking when I actually stepped on the court. Just confidence and believing in myself and believing that the work I was putting in would prepare me for what was gonna happen when I actually played, when it was game time.
So you've described to me what Samara was like at 12. So if you had to describe her in 2 words, what would they be?
At 12?
Yep, at 12 years old.
I'd say...
You talked about what was important to you at 12.
Right.
You're 17 now.
Right.
Are those things still important?
Getting to college.
Okay.
That's a big one. And finding like a balance internally. And I think that big thing is really just self-peace. I think that's something that I've been focusing on just like this year, being satisfied with who I am and what I do.
Okay.
And how I want that to lead into college and the next level.
So how would you describe Samara now in 2 words at 17 years old?
It's always so hard talking about yourself and like...
Why is it hard talking about yourself?
Because I'm very humble.
Do you feel like you ever had room to talk about yourself?
No. Maybe sometimes, but I feel like I've always been hammering at this goal where I'm just doing, but what am I actually pouring back into me?
Okay.
know?
So you're giving, you're pouring out,
Yeah,
but you're not filling up.
yeah.
Are you proud of yourself?
Yeah, I'd say I'm proud of myself.
Are you proud of yourself enough to talk about it, to tell people about it? Or one could say to boast about it?
Maybe,
Sometimes.
sometimes. I don't think I've gone to that level yet, but I'm working on it. I think that's a part of like that self-love piece that I'm also looking for
Okay.
in my years as I'm now a senior. That's something that I also want to pour into. So I'd say that's also important to me now, self-love.
Perfect, because we're gonna come back to that. So humility. I just want to talk about humility real quick. We have time to talk about? Okay. I read, heard somewhere, learned somewhere that by definition, we understand, by definition, humility is to lessen oneself. Did you know that? So I think the way that we interpret humility, we want to be careful not to dim our own light.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can understand what you're saying. Like, I don't want to be what I don't want to be, right? I don't want to be, I see these people next to me that are conceited, or I don't want to be that. Because I want to have integrity, and I want to be able to stand on my work.
Right.
I want to be proud of it.
Yeah.
So I think that part of humility that I want you to consider is, can I exercise humility and still be proud of myself? Can I still be proud of myself?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So humble, what's the second word?
Hardworking. I think I pour a lot into just what I do every day. Energy. So I definitely say hardworking.
Okay.
I'm still passionate.
The 2 things that you're saying to describe you, and I know you so I can see stuff in your eyes, so we're gonna bring that out. Humility and hardworking, both are how you perceive others will see you. But from the inside, so you're describing like kind of the things you do.
Right.
Your activity is like humble. Like I don't want to show up as humble.
Right.
And I want to show up as hardworking. Or I want to show up as humble, and I want to show up as humble.
Right.
But who are you? Like if you had to describe who you are in 2 words, that's inside, not what, because I can see you coming from a place of, your answers are coming from a place of pouring out.
Right.
So think about from a place of filling up. What are the 2 things you can tell yourself about yourself that will fill you up?
Like the things that, so not pouring into whatever, like how do I describe it? Like
Shift to shift It's not about how other people see me. I can see myself as humble and hardworking for sure. Right. But if I take away how I feel like other people will see me, what's left? Who am I on the inside that I'm proud of?
Very, very, very empathetic.
Oh my gosh, so good. I'm so proud of you. Keep going. Empathetic, what else?
Empathetic and understanding. I'd say those are my two biggest things. Because when I talk to people, that's how I approach the conversation.
Right.
I want to be empathetic and I want to be understanding. Because there's been a point in my life where people haven't approached me that way when I open up. So I wanted to be that for somebody whenever they talk to me. And doing things out of love, because I'm very generous and very genuine.
So good.
I think that's the person that I want to continue to be, but also encourage other people to be too, because you never know what somebody's going through. And I think that's the best way to approach somebody, because you never know what they're going through. So there's always an opportunity to be empathetic and to be understanding of the situation.
1000%. So are you humble? Absolutely. Are you hardworking? Absolutely.
Right.
But if I had to look at you, even just from this conversation, and I can like feel your energy,
Right.
those two things do not embody all of who Samara is. If it was who embodies Samara right now, right?
Yeah.
Is empathetic, is understanding, is genuine, is loving. So be proud of who she is right now, because that's how you go out into the world.
Right.
You're gonna do the hard work and stuff, but that's really how you go out into the world. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's good, that's good. What is it about basketball that hooked you?
Oh man, I don't know. I used to play a lot of different sports.
Like what?
Softball, I played tennis for a little bit, swam, even boys baseball. I was just very versatile, but none of them really called my name except basketball.
Okay.
It was like, I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed basketball.
But like, how old were you when you started? Got you. Did you always feel like, so the second you picked up a basketball, you were 5 years old.
Yeah.
Did you feel confident in it immediately?
I don't know about confident, but I was excited to play. That was like a feeling that I always felt. Like I was just excited, like I want to play. But I was playing with boys.
Right.
So I don't think I had that confidence right then and there, but it was like, I want to play this sport because I just love seeing the ball go in the hoop. I love running up and down the court. Little things like that. I know it probably wasn't like that specific when I was little, but I just enjoyed playing. And like, I knew that I wanted to keep this around. And it had been such a significant part of my life where it was like, I need to continue to play. And then I was scared to go to the girls. I was like, I want to stay with the boys. Because I played with boys for like maybe 3-4 years until I actually went into the girls recreational team. I was like, oh, I'm so nervous. Like, but then I dominated that. And I was like, wait, I'm actually good at this. How about I take it to the next level and actually join a club team? Club team, probably some of the best moments of my life, just meeting people. That was like the main thing for me, is like meeting people. And I have a lot of friends now who I've met over the years, just basketball. And it's just such a good outlet for relationships and connection. And I found myself correlating with a lot of the girls that I met because we went through similar things. We felt similar ways, just with basketball itself. But yeah, I think I've grown a lot, but it's good seeing my growth.
Yeah. From
now and then translating back later, it's just like, dang, like I really grew in this sport. So. That's
really good. What ways do you feel like you have grown the most that you accredit to the game? Give me like two.
Like physical or like mental?
Well, you said you're impressed with your growth.
Yeah.
So when you say that, what comes to mind? Like when you think growth, what comes to mind? Are you thinking on the court? Are you thinking off? Like what comes to mind when you say that?
Like both.
Okay.
Like skill, but also maturity and leadership. Leadership is probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
I feel like throughout all my years at Windward, I've really like endured that leadership experience and everything passed on from my past mentors, like Laurel, Khalees, Maya, Maddie, Sky. I've really endured that experience, and now I can say that I'm like the embodiment of that, but doing it in my own way, almost. It's like, I'm a leader, but I'm leading in like my way, my unique way.
That's
like
so
I've taken everything that I've learned from my past mentors and my past older sisters, and now I'm translating it into like Samara's leadership. And I love that.
Yeah, love
And
that.
I really feel like the girls are learning from it. That's like the biggest thing. It's like I can say that because I feel like they're really taking it in and like trusting me.
How do you want them to remember you? Like so how you just described, you have older sisters on the court that fed into you and planted these seeds, and you're kind of like a culmination of all these big sisters, mentors.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one thing about Sam that you hope to leave into other little girls, albeit your teammates, what is that one thing you want to come through you to leave?
I want them to know that I believed in them, because I feel like that's something that I lacked when I was like going through the process of just high school. Like I wasn't sure if people believed in me. So I'm like taking that void, and I'm filling that void by pouring into other people on the team and letting them know literally, hey, I believe in you and I'm gonna get on you because I believe in you.
That's so good.
It's not personal, it's passionate.
Right.
That's what I tell them all the time. It's like, I'm not raising my voice because I'm mad at you. I'm raising my voice because I know that you can do better, and I know that you're capable of better, and I want to see you do better. So therefore, I'm going to push you to do better. You know what I mean?
So you feel like you're the girl that you needed, or you're the thing that you needed.
Yes.
So when did you first know or feel that someone believed in you?
You.
Stop.
No, yeah.
Are you serious?
I was gonna write about that in my college application.
I will cry right now.
When you left, it was like, it was not only a void that I needed to fill myself, but it was like, I knew that you encouraged me and believed in me with so much and poured so much love into me and confidence, and you instilled so much faith to the point where it was like, I could do it on my own when you were gone. But I'm for real, like dead ass, like sorry, pardon my French, but you actually helped me so much just as a player, as a person, and you let me know that like I am loved and I am heard. Like that was like my main thing when you came. It's like it wasn't even so much about basketball. It was like you as a person, like I needed to be empowered, and I got that. So that's what I felt.
Oh my God, I didn't know that I was the first one that made you, that you felt believed in. That's crazy.
It's even hard like now. Like,
I'm so proud of you.
Like, not to like talk about the other coaches, but freshman year was hard.
Yeah.
I didn't get, like I feel like you saw me. Like you saw me for like the player, but as a person, like who I was, like you truly saw me for me. And like that was like the first time I felt somebody like really like trusted me, but like also was confident in my ability to play, and just like my ability just as a whole person, scholar athlete. You just believed in me.
Yeah.
So I'm taking that and trying to pour that into other people, even CJ, even Charlie. Like I want her to know that I believe in her and that she's capable of so much, you know? So, you know. But
that's so
good. It was hard seeing you like branch off to your own.
Hard seeing me leave. Hard seeing me leave.
Life,
Yeah.
But I also needed that, because without you branching off, I don't think I would have grown as much as I did. Because the growth happened when you left. More growth happened when you left.
That's powerful.
So I feel like I really needed that to kind of just like feed my flower and just bloom in an environment where I needed to be seen, but also like I needed to empower myself.
Yeah.
Just like Windward as a whole, like I needed to empower myself.
Right.
But that happened after.
That makes so much sense.
And I grew so much.
That's so good.
But I'm grateful for that. So I'm grateful for the experience that you had given me, and grateful for the experience even when you weren't there.
Yeah, because you had the space to grow.
Yes.
What does love mean to you?
Oh man. That's such a deep question. I feel like love is like so many different things. But for me, I think it's just the energy being poured into you, and just from anybody, whether it's your parents or your friends, it's just energy being poured into you, positive energy. But when somebody loves you, they're also like not afraid to hurt your feelings, And I think that's something that people like don't realize. It's like when somebody wants you to be the best like version of yourself, they're gonna push you to do that, whether it's like, you know, hard or easy.
And
I
that's
think that's something that I've learned. It's like, especially like from my dad, hasn't been like the most positive person, like in saying things and giving me feedback. It's kind of been very like structured and very critical, but I have to view it in a different way because ultimately he's pouring love into me, he's pouring support into me and energy and time. And I think from his perspective, he just wants me to be the best version of myself as a student, as an athlete, whatever it is. But, you know, he might not do that in like the way we want them to. So in his way, he's pouring love and he's showing love by supporting me, giving me criticism in his own way. And I think that's something that I've learned over a long time. He used to get in my feelings about it. I still get in my feelings about it sometimes. It's like, damn, like, why can't he just say, you know,
you're enough.
Yeah, he's proud of me, or like, you did good out there, don't worry about it. No, it's always just been, but that's his way of showing love. Because when he was, you know, a kid, he didn't have that. So he wants to kind of just be that version of himself that he, like, of a parental figure that he never got.
Right.
And that's something I understand from my point of view as a daughter. And it's been hard in understanding that and trying to understand that from his perspective. But ultimately, I have to be grateful and understand from his point of view, like, how he shows love and how he shows support. You know what I mean? But I think ultimately, love is what people pour into you.
Have you said that to him?
No.
Would you?
No.
Why?
I feel like that would be a very hard conversation to have.
Why?
Because I feel like our relationship is not very emotional.
That's real.
It's very, not professional, but there's an expectation of just like him sharing his point of view, and I just have to listen. And that's kind of how it's been my whole life. It's nothing personal. It's kind of just
what it is.
What it is.
And I think you just described what most girls' relationship is with their father.
Right.
But when I asked you about love, you went to your dad.
Yeah.
So you know that he loves you.
I do.
Right? So do you think that even in having a hard conversation, so everything you just described,
yeah,
even in having a hard conversation, is it possible that that experience of love can still be on the other side?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think because you know he loves you, and this is not like, go do something, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And what it sounds like, he's like an example of love for you.
Right.
If you were him, would you want to know?
How I felt? 100%.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things I would want my kids to know is that even through the hardest conversations or, you know, the negative criticism, like, I still want them to know that I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
But I would also voice it. Like, that's the difference. That's the difference I would make between me and my dad. It's like, that's what I would do. I'd say, okay, even though you may have did this or you may need to get better at that, I still believe in you and I think you can do better the next time. Or just making sure to balance it with a positive rather than like double negative.
Right. So I'm your fast forward, I'm your child.
Yeah.
And you tell me you're proud of me. And I go and I sit with Coach Jerica and I tell her, I know my mom loves me because she gives me constructive criticism. She tells me she's proud of me. But what I need her to do, or what I need to hear from her is that I need her to say to me that she thinks I'm good enough. Right?
Yeah.
So how would that land? So it's like, you can say all the things that, as you're the mom,
Yeah.
from what you've learned, from your parents.
Yeah.
What to do, where to, the spaces you want to fill in, so what not to do, you know. So I didn't get that I'm proud of you from my dad, so I'm gonna give that to my kids. Or what if your kids didn't say, I need something else?
Yeah.
So I just want to challenge you in a good way. That as a mom, I'm a mom, and we're all only taking what we've learned from our parents, from our own life, and doing the best we can, and our kids know that we love us, which is baseline. And I say this to my son, and I don't always get it right, but I say, what do you need from me?
Yeah.
And it's scary for him to be able to tell me, because what if I'm not doing it? It's scary for me. What if I'm not giving it? But what you just said was that you would want to know. You would want to know. Because it's all love at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm going to just leave that there. You know.
Yeah.
I'm going to just leave that there. What about self-love?
I think it's definitely been like something that I'm challenged by, because it's, you know, like I said earlier, it's like it's kind of hard to talk about my accolades or just myself in general. And I think that's like part of like self-love. It's like being proud of who you are.
Proud of yourself. Yeah.
I think that's definitely been something that I need to work on still.
Do you love yourself?
I do, but it's not every day that.
Sounds like a question. The way you answered it sounded like a question. I do. Question mark. No, it's real.
I've been trying, but you know, it's just been like it's a love and hate relationship.
With yourself?
Yeah.
What do you need?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's a very hard question. Like, it's just not every day that I wake up and look in the mirror and say, oh, I love you. Oh, you're beautiful.
Right.
Oh, you're doing good.
Right.
It's always kind of just been like, okay, we gotta get better at this.
Gotta get better, gotta get better, gotta get better.
Gotta get better, gotta improve on this, gotta be a leader today.
Oh.
Gotta pass your test today, you know.
Perfection is a heavy weight to carry.
Yeah.
Heavy weight to carry. What would you tell your little sister if she came to you and said, I look in the mirror every day and I struggle to say I love myself, and then I just keep saying like, you just gotta do better, you gotta do better. What would you tell her?
I would tell her that everything would mean nothing if you didn't pour energy into yourself at the end of the day. Everything else that you're doing, it means nothing if you're not patting yourself on the back and saying that. You're ultimately doing this. You're pouring energy into it, so why not be proud of it?
Right.
But it's also really hard to do that and just put yourself like on a pedestal sometimes. I want to be a person who leads others, but I also still want to be a person who understands others as well.
Has empathy,
Empathy, heart and love and passion in what they do. I want to be passionate.
Is there anything you think that you're not now that you want to possess then?
No.
You got everything you need, baby girl. Right?
Yeah.
You got everything you need to be the highest version that you imagine of yourself. You already have it.
Right.
You already have it. I love that.
I think the biggest thing that stood out to me, just throughout like my whole high school career and just looking back at everything that I've been doing and pouring into, is just intentionality. Just being intentional with everything you do, whether, like I said, whether it's athletics, academics, whatever you're passionate about, be intentional. Because without intention, what are you doing it for? And I've questioned myself sometimes, like, am I being intentional with what I'm doing right now? And then I'll reevaluate. But I think the biggest thing that I want to challenge myself to, and everybody else who I would give advice to, is just be intentional with what you do.
It's good.
And be patient. Patient, that's what I meant to say.
Be patient with yourself.
Be patient with yourself. Because like Nipsey Hussle said, you're gonna go through every emotion and whatever it is you're doing. And I think that's the biggest thing we have to accept as humans. Like, it's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to give up. So you need to be patient in order to get to where you're going.